Hello everyone, my name is Kate and I'm recording this video today because I am honestly in shock that I passed the NASM certification exam. So if I can be of any help to any of you that are studying right now, that is kind of the whole purpose for this video. So let's get into it. Okay, so I have my handy dandy notebook right here. I literally took these notes right after the exam because I knew I wanted to make this video eventually. And today I want to cover, the background, a little bit about me, how I studied, concepts that you should definitely know for the exam, and tips before you take your exam. So let's start with a little background about me. Which is kind of the whole purpose behind this video, is I was a marketer in college. So I loved working out and I grew up playing basketball. And I learned a little, I don't know, like little tips and tricks along the way as far as like form goes and things like that. Studying that stuff, it's just a different language to me. So if you feel very similar and you're deciding to embark on your personal training journey, just know that you can do it. And I come with this business mindset, and anything regarding the human body to me it's just another language and it's super challenging. So going into this exam was daunting, it was overwhelming, but once again, I'm kind of here to say you can do it, and if I can do it, then so can you. So let's go into how I studied as a newbie and a total novice to this whole thing. So as the beginner that I am, the total novice, I read through this entire textbook, and a lot of the videos that I watched on YouTube, they were like, don't waste your time. You don't need to do that. And honestly, this was all just so brand new to me, except some of the like self-branding and marketing components, which were like, very few pages in here. So I felt like I needed to read because I really needed to learn it before I could even begin to fathom to study anything. So I read through this textbook over the course of 2-3 months, a little bit after work every single day, and I would go and take the chapter quizzes and then the section exams. Then I would say over the past month, the course of the last month, I was taking the practice test as many times a week as I could. And after work, I was drained, I was brain dead. I feel like in my job, I'm so grateful and so thankful to be constantly learning new things. But when it came to the end of the day, then I was like, I don't have the mental capacity or energy or enthusiasm to be taking this test and to be studying. So anyways, I was taking this practice test, and truth be told, I never got above a 79 on the practice test. So I got this advice from my dad actually, but he said, don't take the final certification exam until you have confidently gotten an 80, 85, 3 or 4 times in a row. My last practice exam test, the only ones that I passed were like a 72, a 71, a 79, and I was really risking it for the biscuit when I took the final. Okay, so that's how I studied. Now, how should you prepare for the exam? Like actual test day, here are my 2 tips. 1, don't take it on your work computer. Now this point may not apply to everyone watching this, but as soon as I launched it, I had all these pop-ups from my protection services or security from my company that blocked all the pop-ups, and it eventually shut down my computer. So I was already feeling so nervous, and then to have those technical difficulties, I couldn't get in touch with my proctor. It just stressed me out even more. And what I didn't know, because I didn't really read the instructions, is that you can't get up, which makes sense. You can't get up to like use the restroom or anything. So at this point, like 40 minutes have gone by. I was getting hungry. I hadn't gone to the restroom. I was just very frazzled. So I would say make sure that you are like prepared, ready to go on a personal computer, and read the instructions about no talking out loud, no bathroom breaks, no eating, all that good stuff. Now, the other thing that I want to note is I think it's kind of important where you study. So I pretty much would go half of my work days, or when I was studying, just to kind of break up the environment, I'd go to a cafe, and that's where I'd take my practice test. So once again, when it was certification, exam day, coming back into my quiet little apartment and not having the ease of just, I don't know, the people in the cafe and the coffee shop and just all the time in the world, it really stressed me out. And I wish that I would have studied and practiced a little bit more in my apartment, because it just made the studying to the test day that much more intimidating, at least in my opinion. So I would say wherever you're going to take the test, you know, get in the group there, study there, light a candle, make a tea, whatever you got to do. But maybe don't take the test your first time in a new place. I don't know. Granted, knock on wood, I still am in shock that I passed, but looking back, wouldn't recommend doing what I did again. Now for the $1 million question is, what do you need to know for the NASM exam? So I'm not gonna lie, I thought that the actual certification exam was a lot harder than any of the practice tests. And my biggest recommendation would to just be to make sure that you know your stuff. I thought that I could get away with memorizing these practice test questions. I know there's a pool of like 800 or something. But when it came to the actual test questions, it really was so conceptual. And I guess in the end, it made me realize I knew way more than I thought I did. But you can't just memorize questions, because the questions that you took on the practice exam are not the same questions on the real one, but the concepts are similar. So everybody says overhead squat assessment, and I completely agree. The one thing that I did not know was your feet in or out. I feel like I studied the low back arch and the knees caving in, the leaning forward, arms falling forward, head tilt, all that stuff, but it was the feet or the legs. I didn't know that, and I felt like there were a lot of questions just on those. Maybe it's, I don't know. Subjective or objective, just make sure that you understand the difference between the two. There were a lot of questions on that, and I think that was something in my studying that I just completely overlooked, because I was like, oh, I got that. And then when it came to the actual test, I was like, okay, there are a lot of questions on that. I felt very, very similar about the different stages as far as pre-contemplation, contemplation, action, maintenance. That was probably something that when I was studying, I was like, oh, very obvious. Just keep rolling through. So many questions on that. The differences in stretching, the differences in the planes, and I'm trying to think what else. I guess like some of the exercises. So I don't know if that was helpful. That was a little rambunctious and all over the place, but at the end of the day, I think the biggest takeaway here is not necessarily the tips to prepare or what you need to know on the test. This is more so just to say that if you have no background, you did not study this in college or anything like that, you can do this, and if I can, you're gonna crush it. So just be confident and have faith in yourself, and if this helped you in any way, please let me know. I really hope it did, and I hope you guys have a great day, and definitely like comment below when you pass your exam, because I know you're going to. All right, thanks y'all.